Hey class, we're gonna continue with polynomials. So in this lesson, we're gonna do two things. We're gonna look at how to add polynomials and how to subtract polynomials. So if you've been keeping up with the work on Alex, I gave you work on this already, so you should be fairly familiar. so, so it's gonna be a short lesson this time around. Uh, So this is again 24-2 and 24-3. So adding polynomials, here's an example. So I don't know if you had a chance in 8th grade to work with algebra tiles. So if you have worked with algebra tiles, this is another way of looking at it. If you never use algebra tiles, don't worry about it. It's okay. But essentially, this is how we add polynomials. So notice here's the example. So I'm going to rewrite this one on the side. So adding polynomials. So we talked about what polynomials are. So here's example 1, 3x squared minus 3x minus 5. So notice we put that in parentheses. Plus 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. So first thing is this, recognize your like terms. The nice thing about adding polynomials is that you don't really have to worry about parentheses. So we'll get rid of them on the second step. But again, your job is this, recognize like terms. So I'll write it right here, and I'll put that in red. Recognize like terms. So by like terms, this is what we mean. Like terms are terms that have the same variable or variables. It could be more than one letter, and they also must have the same power. So if they have these two things, then they are like terms. Again, same variable and same power. My variable is a letter, power is an exponent. So given that, notice that I have x and the power is 2 here. Notice that I have it here and here. So those are like terms. Notice I have x here and the invisible power that is 1. Remember that? And I have it here and here. So those are like terms. And notice that the minus 5 and the 3 are like terms because they're just coefficients, so I can simply just add them. So my like terms are those two and those and these. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to combine them one at a time. So then what's 3x squared plus 2x squared? Again, we're adding, we're not multiplying, we're adding. So what's 3 plus 2? So the answer would be 5x squared. Notice that we're only adding the coefficients, the numbers. We're only adding coefficients. And we're keeping the exponents and the variables the same. Next one. Minus 3x plus 5x. Again, minus 3x plus 5x. So what's minus 3 plus 5? It'll be positive 2x. Again, notice that we're only dealing with the coefficients. We're leaving the variable the same. And the last thing, again, and we've done this, plenty of times. What's negative 5 or minus 5 plus 3? Again, minus 5 plus 3 is going to be negative 2. So the answer is, I'll put everything in black, 5x squared plus 2x minus 2. So there it is. Nothing else I can combine because they're all different terms. So when I ask me to add this, here's my final answer. So this is from the book. So here's what they get at the end. Notice that we get the same answer. So we're going to do another example right here. So we're going to do A and B. I'll start with A. So again, job is to recognize your like terms. So notice that I have x in the power is 1. And I also have it here, x in the power is 1. Then I see that I have a coefficient, minus 2 plus 5. So there are my like terms. So I'm going to keep it color. So here are my first set of like terms. Here are my other set of like terms. So one at a time. So remember that number that you don't see here, that invisible 1. So I'm going to put it there. And that's why I told you guys, if you always put it there if you want to, it's okay. So now I'm going to do 1x plus 2x. So that should sound familiar because we've done this a lot, especially when we would solve equations. So 1 plus 2 is going to be 3x. And now we move on to the next one. Minus 2 plus 5. So negative 2 plus 5 is going to be plus 3. So the answer is 3x plus 3. Try B. If you want to pause the video and try it first and then check with myself, then go ahead, pause it now. But I'm just gonna again do the same approach. Come first. I would always um, advise you to recognize the like terms first. So you see y squared, y squared. So that's my like terms. I see y here. I don't see y anywhere in the other one, so there's nothing else to combine. So I'm gonna leave it there. And then I have the plus 6 and the minus 4. So combine my like terms. 2y squared plus 3y squared. Then look at the coefficients. What's 2 plus 3? And it's going to be 5y squared. Done. We talked about this one, nothing to combine with, so all I have to do is bring it down, plus 3y. And there's my like terms, plus 6 minus 4. Again, plus 6 minus 4 is going to be plus 2. So there it is, adding polynomials. So now let me talk about subtracting polynomials, because again, there's a trick to it, but essentially the idea is the same. So notice that this was page 360. So the other examples I'm going to do is from subtracting polynomials. So we're going to jump to page 365, okay? 365. So here examples of subtracting polynomials. Again, your job is this. Recognize your like terms. But notice that now we are very clear. Subtracting. So let me do the work on the side, and then I'll show you what's the first thing you always need to watch out for whenever you're subtracting polynomials. So subtracting polynomials. So again, similar to adding polynomials.